to episode 10 again of Horns of Cerunnos, the Viking game. Last week, 2 weeks ago, the players were in control of their castle, and they did some talking to some people. They said they would protect nearby towns. They had a quick and somewhat violent chat with some Jotun, and then repelled an attack by three Alpha, killing all of them. Um, they had decided that having heard that there was dissension among some of the jarls in the area, um, displeased at the sudden appearance of this new jarldom on Roseri, that they would go and take out the most vocal of them, which is Jarl Berik Thunderfist. So I'll just get my players to very quickly introduce themselves and their character, just one or two sentences. So we'll start with Runvald.
Andrew Knapp, Reinvald. Yeah!
Excellent. Dennis?
I'm Dennis. I'm playing Vidarr.
Perfect. Troy?
Hello, I'm Troy Spencer. I am recurring character Frey Sword, otherwise known as Sori.
Alrighty, I'm Marquise.
Marquise Hardis playing Gerard.
Perfect. All right. Swift and to the point. So you're in Roseri. You still have these giants to talk to. Do you want to deal with that before you go, or do you want to go and go straight to this Jarl Berik?
I wanted to talk to them because I wanted to try to convince them it would be to their benefit to come with us and put this potential rebellion down as part of securing the castle, the stronghold.
All right, that's no problem. So I guess you would summon them to the throne room, and they will appear lumbering. We can conclude our talks, it seems. Good. Have you made a decision?
We have, but we wanted to speak with you on a related matter. There are some that it seems are unhappy with what we are doing here with the rebuilding of this place. And I wish to set an example by confronting the leader of the rabble.
This is related how?
I believe that your presence with us would further enforce the message.
Perhaps it would.
The idea is that if we put this down in a very swift and heavy-handed manner, then we will not have to deal, at least for some time, with others that seek to usurp our place here while we deal with the Elfer.
There's merit to this idea. Very well, I'll send one of my men with you.
Very good.
And when you return, we will swear oaths, yes?
Yes.
Good. All right, so one of the two bodyguards will come with you. So, how do you want to do this? It's probably like a week away in terms of walking. You could attack by day, attack by night. You could do it quietly or very loudly with fanfare. That's kind of up to you. You could give them warning or attack by surprise. It's really all up to you guys.
We would have done reconnaissance and looked at the numbers that we're dealing with. I would have sent out some of my ladies to do such, and maybe Gerard as well, being that he's a master scout, just to get the numbers what we're dealing with the Jarl Thunderfist and his hold. How many soldiers are we dealing with?
So he's got with his own forces, he's got about 150 warriors there.
I want to use the new pause feature.
Okay.
And I want to say, I think what we should do is we should have it like we're advisors at a war council, and each of us should give Dennis an official recommendation, and then he should choose.
Yeah, I love it.
Right.
All right, so you're standing around this table with a map on it, a sort of crude drawing of the Jarl's Hold.
Gerard would point at the map at several different locations of the surrounding forest and everything that's around it, and he would promptly say, "Me and my hunters can come in through here. We can come in through here. You can go in loud as you would like to, Master Jarl. While we sneak in over the walls at night, go on in, slit the throats of those that matter, and we can leave the Jarl for you if you would like."
Next, you see Sori. She walks over to the large table, and beside the map, there's also a big basin, this big bowl, and inside it seems to be a wine of sorts. Sori has a dried leaf, a broad leaf, in her fingers, and she drops it in the bowl, and she stirs the leaf, and it goes around in a circular pattern. And then she puts her hand into the bowl, inside the bowl, and the water rises and spills out over the edges. And she looks to the Jarl, or to Vidarr, and she says, rising tides lifts all ships. Maybe we should not kill these men, but bring them in, for if we strengthen the least amongst us, surely you too, Vidarr, will be strengthened. So I suggest we bring them to heel and under our control instead of killing them outright. We may need these men to fight the true villains that are on our doorsteps.
The men we can save, but the Jarl we need to kill.
Yes, I would volunteer my services for the final strike on the Jarl.
Reinveld will walk over to the table, and he'll throw his cloak hood over his face, hiding his identity like a wanderer, and he'll say, "Vidarr, I think we should sneak in, like travelers, go to the king's chamber, and then you should issue him a challenge for one-on-one combat for rule of his jarldom."
No one says this man has honor. We do that, we get slaughtered.
He wouldn't dare, not in front of his men.
Between all that each of us have gathered, how many forces do we have?
You've probably got 450-ish men. Like warriors.
We can lay siege, and you can challenge him from the walls.
That's a lot of resources to use to lay siege to something so small. I still suggest that me and my hunters, and you and your sisters, we sneak in, we take out any big threats, and then we can go with Reinvold's challenge.
Send me in before the battle as an emissary, and when I'm in front of him and all the crowds that are gathered and his people, I will publicly challenge him for you.
Yeah, you guys will know that to like refuse a challenge like that would be really humiliating for somebody in a Jarl's position.
I like your plan, Reinvold, but you in diplomacy? I'm weary of this.
This is perhaps the only diplomatic mission I can do, for it was one where I will threaten the man's life.
And you are confident once you enter, you will be able to leave?
If they decide to set up on me, then I will not resist them. I'll let them take me prisoner. And if they kill me, well, then it's just another human dead.
You could send me and Sori and our people, and we could make sure you get out alive.
Very well. I wish to set an example, but there is truth into Sari's words. If we can get through this with more of their number intact and loyal to us, that will be only to our benefit. We shall face this together and head on. Take him notice of my challenge. We were gathered outside with some of our number in hiding, and if it comes to it, then we will take what shall be ours.
I agree with Gerard. If I am to go on as emissary, Gerard should shadow me.
Okay, so
I too will be at your side, Rangvald, as I always have been.
Mmm. And he holds up his hand and starts cracking his knuckles. Okay, we'll do it your way this time.
so you're going to bring the forces and hide them. Is that the plan? Kind of
Uh,
keep them at a distance until.
some of them. The
Okay.
idea is like we'll all go with some of the forces, to the gate and send in the emissaries.
Right.
But to take particularly like the hunters and the assassins, we'll keep hidden, come out at night to send in if we need to.
Okay.
And Sori looks back into the meeting room where the remaining Jotun are waiting. She looks at Vidarr. Surely we should leave enough forces to protect what we already own. We shouldn't send everyone and leave the place unprotected.
Agreed.
So
I will leave
there's only
some of
kind
my
of
sisters behind as well.
there's only 3 Jotun in the castle at the moment, and one of them's coming with you. They haven't sent, the guys who will be staying at the castle yet. They were waiting for oaths to be sworn for that to happen.
Yeah, but like the warriors of my people that I've gathered, I'll have them stay to defend.
Okay, sure.
What do we do with the giant that we have?
Have him stand as tall as he possibly can with the forces in the front as to intimidate them if all-out war were to happen.
Gerard approves.
Okay. So you gather your men. How many are you going to bring?
Sori nods to 2 females off to the corner of the room. One is the small, barely legal age, red-haired girl, freckled face. One you've seen use magic in the past in combat. She comes and stands by Sori's side. Flanking the other side, you see a larger, more muscle-bound woman wielding a big giant axe. She comes to flank Sori to the other side. These are the only 2 sisters that will be accompanying me.
I'm going to wink at the large, muscle-bound woman.
Surprising to you, she actually winks back. It's the first time she's ever shown you any type of, to reciprocate any type of moves you might have made on her, which I'm sure you probably would have in the past.
Can I want to make a nature roll. Well, I guess it would be nature or animal handling. I want to try to figure out how good she would be, like if I think she's fertile. Like, does this woman have childbearing hips?
Yeah, she's quite voluptuous, I would say.
Animal handling.
More so more so than Sori or the other younger girl. This girl is definitely an animal. She would seem like she would be an animal for sure in the side.
Gerard, oblivious to all of this that is going on, will nod to 6 of his hunters. Each one is a different man entirely. All rough men as like a base, but each one has a different kind of form. Like one's mute, 2 of them are missing ears, one's missing an eye, another an arm. And these men are all men who are veterans at hunting down various types of alphas and trolls and what have you that Gerard usually takes him on before he came to Viserys. And he nods to the 6 of them, they nod back, and these are going to be the 6 that's going to be hiding around, just in case you need to go over the walls and kill everything else.
What about actual forces? Like, how many of your 450?
You said that they number around 150?
Yeah.
So what do you think? Take equal forces or maybe 200 and leave the rest?
Yeah, our forces are probably as trained, but we did scour ours from the communities and stuff, so we should have more. We don't want to run the risk of defeat.
If they have 150 men, then we can take 250.
Story's like
So
moving little figures around things. She really doesn't know anything about tactical combat. She's actually pretending. She's actually putting on a good face here that she knows what she's talking about, but she's completely oblivious to these matters.
Reinvald's nodding too, and he's helping you move the pieces around, trying to impress the bustle mound woman.
So that will leave 200 of our forces here, along with the 2 Jotun.
That should be enough to protect them. We'll protect Viserys if they come under attack, and with 250 men of ourselves, we show that we have far more men than this Jarl Thunderfist does.
So most of the stories you know about glorious victories, the winners are always outnumbered. And it's like lionized, to do that.
I have ways to hide some of our numbers. And she looks over to Freyja, the small young female with the freckled face. And she nods. She's like, yes, mistress, we do.
Well, Master Jarl, if you want an honorable victory, if you want to completely crush his morale, we could simply take 100 or even 50. But if you want to be sure that we scare them, we should take 250. Depends on how exactly you want to go about dominating our foe.
My suggestion would be that we meet their number equally, because if we have more, he might be able to convince his people that fighting us would be tail-worthy, and if we have less, he might expose his treachery and decide to attack us out of opportunity. But an equal force, there's no honor in fighting that.
I can respect that. I agree.
All right. So you make preparations and stuff. You get your people together, get a caravan going. You start moving towards his hold. Trip uneventful. No one's going to mess with a caravan this size. No one's really going to bother. Yep.
During the trip, Lloyd, I'm going to be trying to woo Sori's female henchman.
Her name is Asta, and you're a large warrior. She's as muscle bound as yourself. So any type of movement, she's like playhousing with you in like a schoolyard childish kind of thing. She's kind of innocent in her own right. She's like kind of like nudging you and pushing you about as you make your advances.
I'm thinking with the death of all my progeny, my son dead at the hand of the elves, my other son dead at well, actually I don't know if he's a son or not. He was burned with the first village in the game, and then my daughter's missing in action. So I need to start populating. At this point, it's just pragmatic. Like
Right.
if I don't, I like risk having my line fail.
Yeah. I reckon she's probably pretty impressed. You're a pretty big hero.
Yep, she's pretty open-minded to it, so you can narrate as you choose to. I would say she's game. Her name is so you know her name. Her name is Asta Gunner's daughter.
Well,
you might want to ask her name first. Just say it.
No, I'll get her name wrong afterwards, but to save for the sake of expediency, I'll say it's very feral, animal on animal. There's like bear skins flying, wolf skins flying, lots of snow being kicked around, crows flying overhead, the sounds of the forest. And should I make some kind of roll here to see how potent I am?
Yeah, let's do Constitution.
All right, Constitution. Oh, oh yeah.
All right, that's good. That's twinned.
Oh shit. Should I roll to determine their sex?
Sure, yeah.
We'll do 51 to 100 as male because that's the preferable outcome.
1 to 100.
51 to 100.
51.
One male. There it is.
All right.
Bam.
She's got to live another 10 months, but we'll see.
Gerard approves.
All right.
Yeah, Reinvald has a notice like kick in his step.
Yeah.
Early the next morning he gets up and he pees and like it goes in like 5 different directions because that's what happens.
As Vidarr walks by, he gives him a hard slap on the back, sending him stumbling forward a few steps.
And I'll zip up. What the hell, Vidarr?
That's for keeping me up all night last night.
Zzz. Well, you know, it's been rough for me lately. Death of my son, my daughter missing in action. Starting to feel like there won't be anybody to sing my tale.
Um, so you get to this hold. It's fine. It's definitely not Rosari, right? I mean, it's a castle, but yeah. Compared to the incredible fortress that you have, no castle's ever going to impress you again. Um, like it's got stout walls, it's got towers and whatnot, but it's just a castle. Um, so what's your plan here? You're going to hide a bunch of the troops and advance with a small force, or
What is the area like around? Is there any forest or whatever that we can have, the infiltrators stay back in until it
right?
gets dark?
So it's on a hill. The forest is back at least like half a mile uh, for this exact reason. Um, so it's got a good view of the surrounding countryside. So I mean, they've probably seen you coming already.
But yeah, then before we exit the woods, would have them stay. I just want to keep them hidden in case they take uh, anyone captive, Ringvald
Right.
and those with him captive, that we can send them in darkness to get them out, so they're not used as hostages against us.
Yeah,
And
the hunters would definitely like fan out through the forest before we would exit, just like kind of surrounding it, all six of them, and just kind of waiting,
Yeah.
going into hiding.
what time of day is it as we arrive?
That's up to you guys.
We arrive in the early morning. So as the sun is rising and there's a natural mist about, a dew in the air, Freyja steps forward to Sori's side once again as she starts to chant and puts her hands into the air. And as she does, you see this unnatural fog grow from the fog that would have been naturally just hovering above the ground, and it grows and blooms into a big area, so in, big enough to be able to conceal a large contingent of soldiers. And as she does so, a bunch of females step out of the woods. Some of the other sisters of Fury that had accompanied, they step into the fog and walk forward.
So you're going to
So
announce yourself?
these
Yeah,
20 soldiers are hidden.
I would well, I guess we'll pause again real quick here. You guys are gonna shadow me, right? We're not riding up together.
Yeah,
Okay. So you see my horse start trotting, materializing out of the mist, and then I pull out my horn off my side, my trusty horn that I haven't used in such a long time. It goes up to my lips, and you hear "Woo!" and I just let it rip as I approach the gate.
Mm. So as you get close, you see quite a few guards up on the wall. Who goes there? Announce yourself.
It is I, Reinvald, son of Reggar, of Rasiri, official emissary of my lord, the Jarl Vidarr.
Hmm. Yeah. What do you want?
I come to treat with your master to possibly avoid a war.
Sneers. All right, go. They kind of like a little chat in the walls. One of them runs, and then the gates are opened, and you enter into this courtyard. There's like dudes standing around practicing. Um, it's pretty busy,
Uh,
and you're kind of ushered in the direction of the hall.
I will pull out my horn again once I'm inside and let out a lower. What I want is I want to call the people to my presence. I want them to line this path up to the actual house, and I want them to see me. I want them to see my colors. I want them to see Vidar's banner.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a bunch of people stop what they're doing, kind of looking like, who's this maniac blowing a horn in the middle of the courtyard? People are kind of looking, and they definitely notice the colors. Um, yeah,
Yeah, so I'll make a show of it too to like kind of lean off the side of the horse and sneer at a couple women and children to make them think we're wild.
yeah, yeah. People are definitely nervous. They haven't seen anyone just like right in here so boldly.
Yeah, and I'm taking this horse as high up as I can go, like all the way to the actual house if I can get there.
Yeah, yeah. You ride up some steps and stuff, and then you get to the actual door, and then they kind of ask you to dismount.
I'll jump off, making as much noise as I possibly can. Have my hand on my sword hilt, my other hand on my shield. I'm look like I'm ready for battle if they want to bring it against me. The
Yeah,
Jarl's in here.
yes, he is. Go ahead.
So I'll enter and I will make my way straight to the Jarl. Because once I get in there, I'm going right up to him.
Yeah. So you go kind of down a relatively long corridor, and at the end there's this. I guess it's not really a throne, but it's a big chair. It's got his a big banner behind it of his sigil, which is a fist holding a lightning bolt. And he's sitting there in his chair, and he's flanked by a bunch of competent-looking warriors. What is the meaning of this? What is all this dramatic entrance nonsense?
You do me great dishonor, Jarl. Will you not ask your guest if he wishes to eat and drink?
Can I offer you anything to eat or drink?
No,
Yes.
thank you.
He sneered. What do you want?
I am here on behalf of the Houndmaster Vidarr, who has heard your foul words spreading on the wind, and the treachery of your aggression materializing as disgusting fruit. And now I am here to offer you one last chance before he will stamp out your vintage.
You've made a mistake coming here. This Jarl of yours, his tyranny cannot stand. For centuries, my family has ruled these lands. Bannermen from many great families serving us. And now you come to the north and you expect to be ruler of these lands? Not how it works.
Your honor is legendary, Jarl. And I'll start to patrol back and forth a little bit, looking at him to see if he's accepting my bait.
You cannot simply walk into our lands and expect us to bend a knee. Not to a monster, not some half-blooded freak.
You will fight? You're willing to fight? Is that what you're saying? With a little bit of surprise.
That's not what I said.
So you are not willing to fight?
We will defend our home.
How many of your men will die to defend this place for you?
He looks around. How many? And a bunch of them like clang their swords and their shields.
Appears their loyalty is unquestionable. However, do you have loyalty towards them? And then I'll rise and I'll walk forward as far as I can get without men jumping on me. And I'll say, Vidarr challenges you to single combat. If you should deny, may your honor be stricken from these halls for all of eternity. You say your men will die for you, but do you not have the guts to die for your men?
So all the men are kind of looking, eyes wide, like, oh shit. Because they know he's not going to win. Trial by duel. That's a very old way of doing things. To first blood.
To the death.
So he's like sitting there not saying anything, and everyone's just like holding their breath. Very well. I'll do it.
I'll cascade my hand in front of me like, Your Honor impresses me. I shall let Vidarr know. Since we are the ones that have issued the duel, you will choose the time. When will you meet the Houndmaster?
Hmm. Let's let's meet at the witching hour when the moon is full. Yes. On the hill.
This is acceptable. I will tell my lord.
Hmm. Yes. Scurry away now.
As I turn, I see this man with yellow teeth, kind of like, he looks like a villager, leaning by the doors that I came in through. And with the Jarl's guard still in earshot of me, I'll say, prepare 1 6-foot coffin, and I'll throw a gold piece at him.
All right. So, pretty much as you're remounting your horse and riding out of there, you can hear kind of clamoring inside and lots of talking and sort of excited voices. Um, yeah, and they let you out, no problem. Back to the Jarl.
Yeah, I'm blowing a maiden a kiss. Yeah! I'll crack the whip and just like shoot out of there like a rocket, making sure I get out before they change their mind. So, dither dissolve. I come walking up on my horse. He accepted Vidarr. You are to duel at the witching hour, one-on-one combat.
Hmm. I'm surprised that he had enough honor to accept the challenge.
His men looked at him like children expecting their father to protect them.
Well, tonight his children shall weep, for he will be no more.
Yes, he's weak, Vidarr. I could tell by looking at the man. He stands no chance.
Okay. So, what's the plan? Are you going to honor this situation?
Yes, we'll make preparations just in case uh, there's any treachery. Probably position the assassins once darkness falls. They can slip out of the woods and position them, so that they can be there in case there's treachery.
I have a recommendation to make, Vidarr, an additional recommendation. Once you fell the Jarl, we should take his captain of the guard, we should take his advisors, and we should kill them and promote the next in line to guarantee they have fealty to us.
Or that might create resentment and lead to rebellion in the future.
There would be a greater chance of an uprising if we leave the old regime intact.
Well, perhaps it would be to our benefit to take some of their men and leave some of ours.
And that is wise. It allows us not to shed unnecessary blood. We bring their people back to us to be brainwashed and indoctrinated so they can join our Jarl, and then we can control them from the inside. Very wise indeed.
Everything we do or do not do will have a cost associated with it. By leaving our men in such a position, it'll look like we're oppressors.
I believe they will think us oppressors regardless, Reinvold, no matter what we do.
It's the degree to which they will think of us as oppressors. By using their own men as puppets, it's harder to see who's pulling the strings, and they might question the motives of the man. But if it's our own men in there, they'll know exactly what their motives are.
Well, let's see this business done, and then we shall bring the rest of their leaders, and we shall question them, look in their eyes, and see if they should live or be taken out.
All right. So you wait till 3 in the morning. and you go to the top of this hill. Um, it's it's cold. It's quite cold. There's a wind blowing, but it's not raining. It's not snowing. Clear night, and the Jarl is standing there in his armor, sword, and shield. His advisors, champions, are there. He's probably got about 6 men with him standing around. Um, but also arrayed are most of his forces, kind of standing, watching, seeing what happens. He sees you approach, he inclines his head. Jarl Vidarr. Shame we have to meet this way.
Yes. You would have been better served if you had come to see me rather than your words to reach me.
Well, I have little respect for your kind. You have no claim on Roseri. You're not noble. You're not royalty. I don't respect your claim. And the gods will prove that I'm right.
At this, Vidarr will slide the fur off his shoulders, pretty much wearing almost just like a loincloth. His pale blue skin alit by moonlight. As he smiles, his pointed teeth gleam. He tightens his grip on his hammer as he motions the man forward with his other hand.
Before we
Can
begin, let's be clear on the rules. This is a fight to the death. If a combatant is disarmed, they'll be given another weapon. There'll be no interference from outside sources.
And with that said, Sori has been scanning the periphery to make sure there's no crossbows or archers trained on Vidarr or the rest of us.
Nope, everyone's just watching.
Reinvald's going to start beating his shield with his sword.
And Sori is standing to the right of Reinvald, and to the left of Reinvald is actually Asta, Gunnar's daughter, the lady that he had spent the previous day with. The other girl, Freyja, is not with this group. She's with the assassins.
All right, so let's roll initiative.
Seven. Where's my other one? 14 plus, so 21 total.
Okay, you're going first.
Okay, so as the drum beat on shield begins, Vidarr will roll his shoulder, arch his back, then throw his head back, releasing a howl as he goes into a rage.
Okay.
How far is the guy away?
You're probably like 10 feet apart.
Okay, then so yeah, I'll use my movement to charge and use my extra attack to take a swing.
Alrighty.
So that would be 19 total to hit. Wait, no, yeah, to hit, yep.
Okay, it would hit, but he's going to use his reaction to parry, and then it won't.
Okay.
Alright, so you go with this big swing, and he manages to I mean, luckily turn the hit into a glance, otherwise your hammer would smash his shield. And he kind of dodges to the side. You see he's moving like a capable warrior, definitely. Much more so than he appeared at first. Is that the end of your turn?
Yeah, because I used my main action to go into the rage, so.
Right, okay.
Yep.
So then he will rush forward and attack. That's a good round. So it's a crit, and I think 2 hits.
Ouch.
Yeah.
Master swordsman, it would seem.
Right. Yeah. I'm super impressed with him.
Sori cringes at the first few moments of this combat. She fully expected Vidarr to go over and smash this little man into the ground.
So did I. No, I've done something wrong. That can't be right. Uh, all right, so it's going to be 41 points. And you see when he swings his sword, um, every time it impacts, it crackles with lightning. Every single time. Um, some sort of Thunderfist technique where he gets the name from. And it's hitting hard. He's very confident as he goes. And it's your turn.
Okay, just to remind you, since I'm in a rage, I only take half of that.
Yeah, that's fine.
So giving a roar as these strikes land, you can see dark scorch marks along his skin. Let's see, so I've got... I'll do my main attack first. So that will be 18-25 to hit.
That's a hit.
Okay. So that's going to be 2d12. Oh wait, no, shoot, no, I've been doing that wrong too. It was a +9, not a +7. I was looking at my old weapon. So 4, 6. So that's 5, 8, 11, 16, 21, 27.
Okay, very good.
And then for my second hit, that's going to be a 22.
Okay, he will parry that one.
Okay.
So the first one rocks him. Hammer clangs, and he's knocked back a little bit. And the second one, he sees it coming, and manages to again just glance the blow away. Definitely didn't enjoy that, and you can see kind of a look of fear in his eyes. But that's what one hit does. All right, he's gonna swing again. Oh my goodness, this guy! Fucking hell. Um, sorry, what was your AC again?
17.
All right, it's gonna be the same again. Jesus Christ. It's 54 this time. As he swings the sword, and again, every time it impacts, lightning crackles across your skin. Um, and now he has a grin on his face. Now he's feeling confident after hitting you for so much.
Sori looks over to Rangvald, and her hand slowly reaches across each side, reaching for 2 daggers to sit at her sides.
Reinvald just nods.
All right, it's up to you again.
Okay, so first attack, that will be 26.
Yep, hit.
3, 1, 2, 3. Oh shit, shorter dice. That doesn't help. So 11, 17, 20, 24. 24? Oh no, 24 plus plus 8, so 33. No, 32.
Okay. Another huge hit. You got another attack?
Yeah. Mm, that will be 24
Yep.
to hit. Okay. Big numbers, big numbers, big numbers. So that's 10, 14, 12, 17, and 21, 27, 29.
All right. Okay, so he definitely didn't like that. He smashed him twice with the hammer. Bang, clang, clang. His shield splinters even a little bit under the impact, and you can see he's favoring, or he's kind of struggling with the shield arm, um, and all the bluster is gone. Um, he kind of turns around to look at his men, and they look worried too. Um, he's gonna.
Reinfeld's gonna yell out, Vidarr's playing with his food! And I'm gonna start banging the shield really loud.
So a bunch of them shout back, boo, boo, start cheering on the Jarl. Um, all right. Okay, no crit this time. So 2 hits.
I'm going to use my reaction to use the shield from the hammer to add +5 to my AC.
Okay,
For
so
one of
just
the
1 hit.
attacks. Yep.
Actually, it's once the shield's active, it stays till the beginning of your next turn.
So it's for all the attacks.
Yep, pretty sure. Let me look
Okay,
real quick.
well then yeah, the hammer, I guess just with like incredibly fast parries, just cling, cling, and he doesn't manage to get through your guard. Your turn.
So have taken his share of damage. Vidarr is panting, his teeth tight together as he slowly stalks around the Jarl. As he does so, creating some space, and then he's going to charge forward using his unstoppable charge to slam into him. So, make my attack. So that's going to be, let's see, +9, 23.
Yep.
Okay, so this is going to be a good one. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Ooh, so 6, 10, 16, 20, 22, 22, 24, +6 is 30, 32, and then plus extra 5, that's 37.
Okay. Yeah, he didn't like that at all.
And then he has to make a deck save to be knocked back 5 feet.
you knock him back 10. He crumples to the ground. He's still alive, but he's kind of twitching. His left arm's twitching where he's holding his shield. He's seemingly unable to control it. And he looks behind him into the crowd, and you can see there's a robed figure walking forwards. He just looks up to the sky and says, Odin, I'm sorry. And this figure walks out and removes his hood, and it's an alpha standing there. He has pretty predatory expression, and he's got curved ram horns coming from his forehead. And he says, yes, well, it's to be expected when you get cattle to do your work for you. You've come far enough. Your group has dabbled in the affairs of creatures beyond you for too long. Message has come to me that you refused the generous offer of the triumvirate. Is that so?
If you mean by slaying and decapitating your people, then yes.
Interesting. So tenacious.
I
Very
must
well.
compliment you. The blood of your people is quite pleasant on my skin.
Yes, yes, yes. You'll make good sport. I'm afraid I have no choice. You'll go to the hunting grounds, and there I'll teach you how to speak to your superiors.
I want to charge and
Well,
attack him.
Gerard wants to do the same.
Okay.
Sori's already got her 2 daggers ready to be unleashed.
All right. Um, let's do that. I'm going to say you guys get a surprise round.
Oh yeah.
You want us to roll initiative to see who goes first, or just
I'll just have you guys pick, and then do you ever do this where the initiative, like you guys pick, and then you also pick when the bad guys go?
sure I did it in some game. It wasn't D&D, but we can
Right.
do that.
So I'm going to have you guys pick who goes and what order you go in. So at the end of your turn, you'll say person goes next for one round till everyone's gone, and then the last person gets to pick who goes start of the next round. So if you let potentially me go last, I could pick myself first next round.
Fair enough. So being that I'm going to be using a ranged weapon, and my initiative is +10 as a passive, I'm going to assume that Sori is quick. As soon as she senses the presence of Rangval shifting his weight to start charging across the combat zone to this Alpha, she's just going to unleash those 2 daggers that she had gripped in her waistband.
Oh,
Okay.
what the fuck, Joy? You said we get to decide. Thanks for taking it.
It just makes logical sense, I think.
Herp to derp, I shoot my bow.
It's faster than a dagger.
It's cool.
So that's cool with everyone? Alright, I'm going to go ahead and throw the attack. So this guy hasn't acted yet. So I'm going to get my assassinate on this first attack.
You can certainly try.
Alright, I can try. I don't know what we're up against. He just looks like another elf with horns to me.
Yeah, he's got horns.
Alright, so I rolled on the first attack. And it's a surprise, we get advantage.
You don't get advantage, no.
Alright, cool. I get 22 on the first roll,
Okay.
and 24 on the second roll to attack.
Okay. Second one will hit.
The first one didn't.
Yeah.
Alright, so now I don't want to talk mechanics, but does I get sneak attack? Because it's a surprise round.
Sure.
Now, do I get the assassinate because it's my first attack, even though the first roll missed?
I don't know.
I believe
sure.
it does. Okay.
Why not?
Okay, let's see. So the second attack is going to do 32 points of piercing damage.
Okay.
And he's going to roll a DC 11 con save because my dagger was laced with serpent
He's
venom.
immune to poison.
Okay,
Yeah.
so never mind. So
All right,
32 points.
The dagger
Nice.
slices under his cheek. He looks kind of displeased with the situation, and he raises a hand, and fire springs up from the ground beneath you. I'll need you to make a dex save, please.
Sure. I rolled a critical fail,
Okay.
as in I rolled a 1.
All right. So then you will be taking 30 points of fire damage.
I'm going to take half because of my thief ability.
Even with a critical fail?
I think it doesn't matter. If I fail, I would take. If I pass, I would take 0.
All right, you can't really critical fail a save.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. Anyway,
15.
you take 15 fire damage.
Okay.
Who goes next?
I'll let Gerard go next.
Well, Troy needs to pick.
Okay, Gerard, go next.
All right. So the moment this random alpha kind of showed up, anyone looking at Gerard, which should probably be very few people, will notice that his rather impassive expression at the Jarl's fight has suddenly completely changed. His lips are split open, and in the light, the little gleam, the silver gleam of the moonlight above, you can see his canines glistening, and he instantly would hold out his hand, and from the shadows you'd see one of his hunters, a man with no eyes, just wearing a blindfold around his face, would step out, bow in hand. He would very summarily just put the bow into Gerard's hand along with one single arrow. Gerard would quickly knock it, his eyes narrowing. He sees Sorry jump out and swing at the man, cutting his cheek just slightly, and he sees her get caught in the flames. Obviously, his alpha is powerful. He is someone of status. Gerard can tell us how this man moves, how he speaks. This is no normal elf, and this is no emissary like the ones that came from Vidarr. Knowing this could potentially be one of his greatest hunts, probably of all time, really, he quickly knocks the arrow, pulls it back all the way to his shoulder, and takes careful aim for this thing's heart. He's aiming to wound it, to make it bleed, to hurt it enough to chase it down. He lets the arrow fly and it whistles through the air. Sorry just barely ducks and dodges out of the way as the arrow goes over her head and as the alpha dodges. Gerard ticks under his teeth. Give me another one, he says, as the blindfolded man hands him another arrow, and then I'm going to go ahead and let Blindfold go.
Okay, perfect. Blindfold, you're up.
All right. I run forward and try to bash it in the face with my shield. So that's going to be athletics versus athletics. For me, that's a 26.
A ton of dice there. A 26, that's good. Okay, you bash it.
Bam! I'm going to knock him prone. Then I'm going to open up on him with 2 sword attacks. That one's a 15, one's a 24.
24 is good.
24 is good. Alright, oh, and that's max, so he's going to take 13 points of damage. Then I'm going to action surge. 2 more attacks. Both of them miss.
Yeah, so even on the ground, he's like moving incredibly quickly. I missed your damage.
It was 13.
Okay. Who goes next?
Since it's a prize, I think he automatically goes, doesn't he, Strider? Or I guess now it would go back to the normal
So
round.
it's either Vidarr or the bad guy.
Yeah, that'd be Vidarr the bad guy.
So
logically,
well, wait.
Vidarr.
If it's a surprise round, it has to be Vidarr, and
Yeah, it
then
has to
he
be
enters
Vidarr.
into initiative on the next turn.
Right.
So yeah, it has to be you, Vidarr.
Okay, so he's on the ground at the moment, correct?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Vidarr will charge forward to attack. Let's see, for the first attack. Let's see if that's a bad dice. I can't see that very good. 24.
Yep, that's a hit.
Okay. Now, I don't know if it makes a difference for this, so I'm going to roll the radiant damage first. So that's 10 points of radiant damage.
It won't make a difference.
Okay. So I'll just add it all together once. 10, 20, 29. Where is it? 29, 25, 27.
Okay.
So 27 points of damage for the first hit. And let's try for the second hit. Ooh, that's going to be 21. That's going to miss.
Okay. So, hammer thuds into him. So then the initiative actually starts. So who goes next at the start of this round? Vidarr, it's up to you to decide. It can be you, it can be the bad guy, it can be other members of the team.
I'm gonna pick Rangbald since he's standing right over him.
Okay.
Brilliant. Okay, so as my bonus action, I'm going to cast Hex on him. I'm going to choose Strength as his ability score that he takes disadvantage on.
Mhm.
So I kiss the hilt of my sword and I say, "This one's for my son, you elf, you're fuck." And I start trying to break his head in with the tip of my blade. So 2 attacks. One of them's going to hit. It's 26, so... and that'll be 12 points of damage.
Okay.
And I will choose... Oh, sorry, were you going to say something?
Yes, he uses a reaction, and vanishes from his place to appear standing 30 feet away.
Okay.
And now you can decide who goes next.
Does he appear standing or does he appear prone?
Oh, that's a good question.
You can appear standing.
I think he. I mean, why would he choose to appear prone? Yeah.
Normally to stand takes half a movement, doesn't it? That's something
Okay.
that's additional to an action, isn't it?
Yeah.
No,
Probably. Okay. So,
it's half a movement.
all right. So he'll appear lying on the ground 30 feet away.
Okay, it's actually worse for what I'm gonna do. All right, go ahead, Troy.
Is the Jarl still alive? I know he was praying to Odin.
The Jarl is barely alive. Yeah.
All right, so you see Sori. She nods to the large female that's now standing at her side after Rangbald had run forward, and the large muscular lady circumvents the combat zone, heading straight not for the teleported Alpher, but instead for the Jarl that's over on his knees. Gunnar's daughter grabs the Jarl, and then Sori approaches one step at a time, slowly. She pulls out her 2 short swords, and she attacks him as he lies nearly dead. She's practical. She's not one for letting this man survive, having dealt with these evil Alpher. So I'm going to attack him twice.
Okay.
First roll is a 21.
Yep.
And the second roll is Z17.
Okay. One will hit, but you'll kill him. So.
All right. So with her serrated blade that she had retrieved in the pits of Versari, Gunnar's daughter grabs the man by the ponytailed hair, pulls his head back. Sori comes up unceremoniously and slides her serrated blade across his throat, inch by inch, as the blood trickles, and then so slowly his head flops back, peels, and falls to the side. Then she's gonna use her movement to sprint towards the teleported Alpha.
Okay. Who goes next? Troy, who goes next?
Oh, sorry. We'll go with Gerard.
So Gerard is watching this elf duck and dodge away from all his attacks even when he's on the ground. And then when he explodes in that poof of magic, teleporting to another spot, Gerard lets loose his arrow, and it goes snapping through the air, again, hella quick, almost too quick for a normal person to be able to follow. But it does not make its mark. The elf, again, is too fast for him. And seeing the shaft of the arrow hit the tree behind the elf and just kind of splinter, Gerard's eyes move over to the Jarl that Sari is basically assassinated. And he wants to see, is his sword still lying there on the ground?
It's.
All right. He's going to promptly drop his bow and let one of his many servants pick it up. He's going to sprint just for that sword and try and take it.
Yep, you can grab it.
Right? So he picks up the sword and he swings it through the air once, and he listens and he says, "If the bow cannot kill, then I'm sure that you will, my friend." As he kisses the blade and he begins to move towards the Alpha and ends his turn. And I'm going to let, of course, the Alpha go next.
Okay. The Alpha will stand and begin waving his hands around, and he's kind of in the throng of the Jarl's men. And as he does so, 10 of the men around him contort and then cuts appear in their throats and blood fountains upwards. And he lets out a low laugh. You think I would fight you here? Why would I do that? We're going home, my friend. Um, and he will walk further into the Jarl's men, who are now panicking and running kind of all over the place. Who hasn't gone this round? Vidarr, right? Yeah. Yeah, Vidarr, your turn.
So how far away is he at this point?
He's going to be 60 feet away. You can feel like a shimmer of energy in the air. You can actually feel like almost that feeling where you go over a speed bump in a car a little bit too fast. You know, like a disconnection in your stomach.
Well, let's see if I use my action to dash, I still get my extra attack, correct?
No, so the extra attack only comes when you make an attack.
Okay.
It's like part of the attack action.
Okay.
Now, Dennis, what you could do, because you're the last one in this round, is you could use all your movement to get to him, then name yourself the first person to act of the next round.
Yeah.
Okay, then that's what I'll do, because I can move 90 if I double move. So he's basically he's moving through and slaughtering the other Jarl's men?
Yes. So basically with some sort of ritual that he just performed, 10 of them just died. Their throats were cut and blood started spraying into the air. And as soon as that happened, you felt like big voodoo in the air.
Yeah, so seeing this, Vidarr will begin charging forward after him, yelling for the Jarl's men to get away from him, and he'll call for the assassins and the archers to, start raining down on this guy. If nothing else, if we can't take him out, to drive him away before he slaughters more of the men we need to fight his people.
Cool.
And then once I reach him, then let's see. So that's 27 for the first one.
Yep.
So 4, 6, 11, 13, 16, 20, 26, 28 for the
All
first
right.
hit.
He will use a reaction to jump away as you hit him.
Okay.
So you hit him, and he kind of laughs, and appears even further in the throng of men. And it's at this point that Alessandra crests the top of the hill, out of breath. You see this scene of chaos. There's hundreds of the enemy Jarl's men kind of panicking, running all over the place. The body of the dead Jarl atop the hill, and this weird, very tall alpha with horns standing amongst the Jarl's men, laughing like a maniac.
So what I will do, since I haven't moved on my new turn, I'm going to move as far as I can towards him to, as best I can, insert myself between him and the other men.
Right.
To, like I said, either keep driving him away or make him focus on me instead of slaughtering everybody else.
Okay, no problem. Who goes next? So it's a new round, so anyone can go.
I guess since she's just arrived, it would be a good time for Alessandra to do something.
Sounds good to me. You there, Chris?
Yeah, I'm here.
Cool. So yeah, that's what's going on. It's kind of chaotic. And you've just arrived. I'm going to say you were with the main body of the soldiers that were brought along, and you kind of saw that there was a commotion and ran over here.
Alessandra runs up out of breath, breathing heavily. What's going on? How can I be of assistance? Is anybody wounded?
Is she close enough for Gerard to answer, or are we like waiting for one of the lackeys to answer, or what?
Yeah, you can answer.
Alright, so Gerard would like kind of see you coming out of the corner of his eye, Alessandra, and you'd see him bounding towards the elephant, and he'd turn into you and he'd say, "It does not matter, simply kill this alpha so we may continue." And he would keep on charging towards him and beckon for Alessandra to join into the melee.
Hearing that, she feels this negative energy pulsate through her body. She's grown accustomed to this. She's grown to love it. The taste rolls over her tongue. She lets loose this word, Aska, towards this alpha who's attacking her closest ally. And he sees this withering, snake-like serpent creeping, his dark black tentacles reaching towards him, and he needs to make a Constitution save.
Okay. So he's got a 12.
He feels that he takes this deep breath and this blackness goes into his body, and he feels this negative energy pulsate over him, and he takes 12 points of damage.
Okay. All right. So yeah, I mean, it hurts him, but he seems to just laugh when you hit him. You can see the wounds are taking a toll. He's definitely in bad shape, but doesn't seem to care. Chris, you can pick who goes next. Options are Reinwald, Sorry, Gerard, or the bad guy.
I gotta go with the bad guy.
All right. The bad guy is going to once again raise his hands above his head, and another 10 men just die, and blood sprays. And as their blood sprays up into the air, forming an arch, a portal appears, shimmering, and you can see beyond it nothing but forest as far as you can see. And he says, "You are coming with me." And he walks through, and then there's a moment of disconnect. You feel like you're being pulled down into the earth, like pulling you down, way down into the earth. It's like someone has their hand around your spine, and then suddenly you find yourself standing on top of a hill, looking out over this impossibly green forest that spans in every direction as far as you can see. Looking out over this vista, you can see probably 3 leagues away a tree that is hundreds of feet across and stretches all the way into the sky. This is Yggdrasil, the world tree. Between you and it, there's a huge forest, and occasionally you see like a massive stone jutting out of it, or a huge statue. And to the east, there are mountains. The Alpha is nowhere to be seen, and the portal is gone. But sitting on the top of this hill, on the other side, are 2 Alpha. They're just kind of sitting, having some lunch, looking out over the vista. And as you appear, they turn around and look somewhat surprised.
I want to intimidate them by blowing out my war horn.
I want to decapitate one of them.
All right, so you blow in the war horn to terrify. Is that the plan?
Yeah, I'm an entertainer. Should I do a persuasion roll?
Sure, let's do it.
Fuck yeah! All I want's a chance. That's gonna be a 8. So what I do is I put it up to my mouth. I go to blow, but some blood is actually like dried on the inside of it. And I go.
They turn to look and they're like, "What the fuck?" All right, you want to try and decapitate one, Jared?
Yeah, I do. Like
Right,
just seeing one, I would instantly just take the sword and without even thinking about it, just whip it out. And as I roll an amazing 7 here, I'm just gonna say the weight of this new sword just carries me too far, and you see me go kind of off the hill and over one of them. And I just go to my knees and I'm like, this sword is not as good as I thought it was. So I would turn around and look at the 2 elves.
Well, guys, that was a good entrance.
Yeah, we made an awesome impression.
Wait, Sori hasn't waited yet. Still her turn,
So
I think.
one of them turns and says, "Humans, interesting. What are you doing here?
We're here to kill you.
Where is here?
Why?
This place is treachery.
This place is not treachery. A place cannot be treachery. What an interesting notion. And we can fight if you wish, or we could talk. I suppose
We were
the
brought
hunt.
here against our will.
Do you have something to eat?
Vidarr
Yeah.
will, standing there covered in blood, virtually naked, his blue skin marred and scorched, uh, as he raises a hand and walks forward. What is this place?
Um, what do you mean?
We were somewhere else, then one of your kind brought us here after he tried to kill us.
Well, this is Alfheim. Um, oh, so the hunt hasn't been declared, but I imagine it will be soon if you're here. Fortuitous for us to be sitting here right next to the quarry, I suppose.
Are you supposed to be hunting us?
Eventually.
With that, Sori laughs and she's going to unleash an attack on the one that had just said that.
God fucking damn it, Troy.
But food, Troy, food. What are you doing?
Well, if they got food, we can take it off their corpses, right?
If we're not in initiative, can I also attack with Troy?
Sure, yeah.
But Dennis, what if the food isn't here? What if they were gonna take us to the food?
Hey, I was trying. You know, what can I say? I was being the reasonable
I got
one.
a 17 to hit.
Well, if they're attacking, I'm going to attack too.
All right.
Well, I think that would be
don't attack. Let's
instinct at
find
this
out what's
point.
going.
Sorry?
I walk forward and lash it with my serrated blade, but I'm just dumbfounded by this entire experience of being taken here, and I'm overwhelmed by the emotion and the what's going on, and I'm not able to focus, and I
Okay.
miss terribly, even though these guys are sitting.
Yeah. What were you going to say, Chris?
Alessandra, as she sees her friends lash out towards this Alfred, no, let's talk. But it's lost in their weapons, singing, drawing blood, and her heart is saddened at this moment.
Does a 17 hit?
It does.
Alright, so as Alessandra's screaming out, no, let's talk to him, and as Vidarr and Reinvald are talking about food, Gerard, who is a man who has spent most of his life either being tortured by elves or hunting elves for sport, quickly lashes out as Sori misses. And his blade is going to come directly towards one of their jaws, kind of a bit of lightning lashing out as well, dealing a total of 12, 14, 16, 18, 16, 16 points of damage total.
All
I'm
right.
wounding the creature as well.
Slash into him. That was unwise. So they jump up and they to a little bit further away.
Do I get my shield bash on him first? Because I want to attack too.
Yeah, go on.
Yeah. What I want to do is hit him square in the mouth when he says that was on wa pool. So it's athletics versus athletics.
Oh, okay.
It's 25.
Okay. I haven't given this guy an athletic skill, so I guess it's just his strength. Which is 4, 23. All right. Yeah.
So he goes, that is on. Ho, ho, it got us on it, ho. And I fucking bash him in the face and I clothesline him and he goes down. I hold the sword up and I'm gonna try to impale him with it while he is on the ground.
All right. Go for it.
I want to also impale him with the sword.
19, that's a crit for me because I'm a champion.
All right.
And
You do
then
it.
does a 21 hit as well? Or 22 rather?
You can cinema finisher this guy.
Okay, so as I clothesline him, knocking the words out of his mouth, he hits dirt. My sword hand comes up, drives through his sternum straight, like a foot down into the dirt. And as I bury the hilt into this guy's chest, my eyes like spark, and I see me burying my son's sword into the tree. And I let go of it, and I spit on him. This is only the beginning, Alfer. I'll fucking burn this entire forest! Ah! And I throw my hands up in the air, screaming.
So the other one is horrified and just away and begins running, sprinting as fast as he can. He's super quick and he's like leaping tree to tree and stuff. So he's gone. You're standing on top of this hill, and then you hear a horn blow. And this little portal opens, like a door, and this little tiny, like 3 foot fawn comes out. He's got this huge scroll that like trails behind him, and he says, "Greetings."
Salutations. As I have my hands on the sword, I'm wibbling it back and forth, trying to pull it out of the ground.
You are involved in a wild hunt. You are quarry. Here are the following rules. 1. You need to make for the World Tree. There, on the 3rd branch, is a portal that leads to Genunga Gap. There you can find a way back to Midgard. 2. You will be given 1 day's head start. 3. A second horn will blow when the hunt begins. 4. You will be hunted by all Alpha. The other denizens of this place may act how they wish. 5. You may use any means available to you to escape. 6. No denizen of this place may lie to you. Do you understand the terms?
So we're being hunted by elves, yes?
Correct.
Gerard would turn back to Vidarr, who he still considers his Jarl, and he'd say, instead of leaving, perhaps we could just leave a few messages behind before we continue on with our merry quest of establishing the Jarldom, Vidarr? I'm saying I want to kill a lot of these things.
I do not doubt that we'll have the opportunity to do so.
Little creature, are you beholden to answer me at least one question since you're going to hunt us?
I will not partake in the hunt, but I will answer questions you have.
Alright, and you always tell the truth. How can I kill the Thane?
Interesting. So he looks through his scroll. He's like ruffling it, putting it over his shoulder and stuff as he goes. Yes. To kill the Thane, you must break the bond of the Triumvirate. Then they will all be defeatable, killable.
I see.
This you will find in Svartalfheim.
Well, the Smartelfheim.
If you wish to go there, you must go to the 9th branch. A portal will take you to Genunga Gap, and there you'll be able to go to Svartalfheim.
Is there a way out of Smartelfheim once I'm there?
You will have to climb the World Tree.
I look at Vidarr. I turn my head to the side like, how big's the World Tree?
So it's probably like 300 feet across, like in width, and it stretches infinitely into the sky from what you can see.
Pause. This Gon Gadaf.
Genunga Gap.
Yeah, that place. So that place is that place of doors that leads to all other places?
Exactly. It is like a non-place between all the different worlds.
But we can't use doors out of there to get to where the triumphant or the bond place is to kill the Elfer. To kill their connection between one another.
So it's complicated, but you have to get to. So you can go into Genunga from anywhere, but it's like just these floating pieces of rock or whatever. So to get to the one that leads to different places, you have to go different levels of the tree.
Okay.
So while we still have this paused, is his portal still open behind him?
Yeah, it's like a little tiny 3 foot portal.
And we
My
wouldn't.
eyes go from Vidarr to the portal, and I'm kind of making a gesture like, should I dive through the portal? Because if they want us to go to the world tree, like, if that's where we're trying to get, it wouldn't be out of my imagination that that's where they're rallied right now, because that'd be the hardest place for us to get to if they're coming from it.
Yeah, the world tree is located in all other areas, right?
Every plane has
Right,
a connection
the
to the world.
world. Okay. All right, I'm paused. I just wanted to get a grasp of the.
Yeah, no
Not
problem.
that, not that my character would know any of this.
Yeah, not really knowing where that portal might lead. Seeing Rangbald's look, Vidarr will just kind of shrug and leave it to him if he wants to take that risk or not.
But having noted that this creature had mentioned the same place, location in 2 exit strategies, then Sori would have come to grips that there was something more about this place, potentially, that it was uh, like a place to reach all other places. She just understands that she doesn't want to be here. Gerard wants to untale for.
Alexandra, you would know that the world tree can go anywhere, including Asgard, where the gods live.
Who Odin.
Yeah, Alessandra feels awkwardly at peace in this place. Though she doesn't want to relay too much information of her being an alpha to her party.
You, in contrast, see Sori being very, very uneasy. Probably the most shaken you've seen her. And you've seen her near death, having brought her back from death nearly. Seen her allies die around her, or loved ones. But she's more shaken here in this environment, in this situation, than you've ever seen her.
And continuing on, Gerard is almost giddy with excitement. Again, he's an elf hunter. This is his trade, this is his profession. Knowing that basically he has been given a free pass to kill as many elves as he possibly can, knowing that they'll be coming directly to him. Now, right now, he sees this whole thing as a game, an adventure almost, something to basically pass the time while serving his Jarl. So he's sitting there smiling. You can see the canines in his mouth. His eyes almost slit as he's looking around, one hand on the sword, another on a dagger, waiting just for this conversation to end and waiting for the Jarl to give him his next directive, but most importantly, waiting for the first Alpha to come to their demise against him.
Okay. I'm going to ready an action to bash this little satyr dude in the face if he tries to move towards the portal. And
Okay.
I'm going to ask the satyr, what would happen if I dove through the portal?
It would bring you to the world tree.
Is that where those that hunt us are waiting?
Yes.
So it would.
Are they prohibited to attack us before the hunt begins?
Not entirely.
You see Reinvald's grip start to loosen a little bit, knowing that diving through the portal and going for the branch would probably be suicide.
When the hunt begins, all Alpha are compelled to attack you. Currently, they have no such compulsion.
So, Lloyd, what was it I was gonna? Alessandra would have known. I'm sorry.
That the world tree can go anywhere. So all of the different planes are connected to it. So you would know that if you climb high enough, you could even go to where the gods live. If you go low enough, you could go to Muspelheim, which is hell. You can go anywhere on here.
This tree, Alessandra says to the party as she looks around, catching the eye of each and every individual, is a portal to everywhere. If we climb high enough, we can go to Valhalla. If we climb low enough, well, she smiles and tastes the dark magic dancing across her tongue.
I see no need why we should climb. I understand that the Jarl has pressing matters to get back to, but the wild hunt lasts for how long again, little Satyrman?
Until you are caught or until you escape.
So essentially, we've been given free rein to kill as many as we can. We limit our enemies. We cut them down one by one so that way when we return, there are less to kill. No?
What would happen if we don't agree to your terms?
Your agreement is not necessary.
What if we refuse to admit we understand your terms?
Hmm. Then I would have to explain them again in a
And
simpler fashion
how long would you keep explaining them for if we kept ceasing to understand?
until you understood.
I do not understand.
So he goes and unravels the scroll again. Back to the top. You need to go to the world tree, the large tree over there. There, on the third branch, and he holds up 3 fingers, is a portal, a door that leads to Gununga Gap, the place of all doors. There you can go back to your world. 2, you will be given 1 day of a head start. 1 day where you will not be attacked. 3, a horn will blow when the hunt begins, a loud noise to signal the beginning of the hunt. 4, you will be hunted by all Alpha. All Alpha are compelled to attack you. They have no other option. The other denizens of this place, the other creatures residing here, do not have to attack you. 5, you may use any means available to you to escape. Anything that you can do is allowed. 6, no denizen of this place may lie to you. Everything that dwells here must be truthful when speaking with you. Do you understand the terms?
I'm going to turn to Vidarr and I'm going to smile and lay down and say, I do not understand.
Vidarr will move closer to the creature. There's a few points that I wish for you to clarify. You say that we have a day head start,
Correct.
and our goal is to reach the tree.
Correct.
Yet those that will hunt us are already at the tree. So how is that a day's head start?
It would be near impossible for you to reach the tree in 1 day. It is quite far away.
If I dove through your portal, I'd instantly go there, right?
That's true. The hunt has not yet begun.
Then would they
So-
honor their 1 day head start?
The hunt has
So,
not yet begun. They do not have to honor it yet.
okay, so at this point, Vidarr is going to try to grab the creature and throw it as far as he can and then go through the door.
Maybe we should find out if we can all use the door.
All right, so you grab this little fucker and you throw him. He's unable to resist. He's not a combatant at all. You can give him a swing around your head and
What's it
Well-
sound like when he goes flying, Lloyd?
whoa! So the scroll flutters behind him as he vanishes into the trees below.
After you, Jarl.
But the hunt has not yet begun, which means they can still kill us if they see us there.
Well, I guess it's time to take the fight to them.
I prefer
Okay.
to see it done than traps through these cursed woods for how many days it takes to get there. I'd rather see it done.
This
I
place
agree,
makes
my
me
friend.
uneasy. If the porter can get us there, let's do it.
Yeah, at
for
this
you,
point, he's growing tired of the Alpha and their tricks, and he's also feeling the pressure of his oath to protect Rosari and feeling the distance between himself and the stronghold. And he's had enough of this nonsense. So, for
Okay.
better or worse,
So you barely managed to fit through this tiny little portal, considering you're so gigantic. You have to go through like
I know. I'd be,
an arm and a
I
head.
didn't even think about that. Can I even fit? I'd be
Yeah,
like,
you can just about do it.
it's
but
not going to look
swings.
very cool.
No. And you eventually then come out the other side, kind of crawling kind of grunting. Fucking goddamn it! And you look up, and there's that alpha standing there, but now he's much larger, and he's got antlers instead of curved ram horns, and he looks incredibly dramatic. Everything about him is more, just more than it was previously. Standing at his side, there are probably 100 alpha, close to that number of centaurs standing around, feasting, singing, dancing. No one seems to have noticed you crawl out of the hole. Um, so I guess the rest of you go through.
I'll
And
dive. I want to dive and roll out.
okay, you like leap, kind of baseball slide through, and then roll out on the other side. I guess coming up with sword and shield ready. Um, yeah, and everything's just it's just chaos. There's just wine flowing everywhere. There's fires everywhere. There's drums, dum, 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 and horns blowing and everything. It's a huge sort of festival going on.
Can I see the tree from where we come out? Are we outside, I assume?
Yeah, you can. It's pretty much right. As you come out, there's probably like maybe 100 feet between you and the tree. Um, but as you get out, we're gonna have to stop because this is going to be way too big a deal for this to happen now. So you guys come out, you see this huge array of creatures, and you see the world tree endlessly rising before you, and we'll stop for now. So that's dramatic and unexpected. So I hope you guys had a good time. My players are SHU Joker, Dennis Kellogg, DMT Tabletop Gaming, Christopher Carcella, and Stereotypical Strider. Thanks everyone for watching if you did.